r/AskReddit. What are dark secrets about the porn industry that people should know? They recruit young women and teens from troubled homes or rebelling against their parents. They lure them in with money and the ability to live free and do what they want. All they have to do is some amateur porn. Once away from friends and family, they are put in a house with other young women in the industry and given a room. They bond and go to shoots or whatever. They get paid a lot and they love it. Some get hooked on drugs. Almost all have bad experiences. The person who owns the house they live in takes a cut of everything. It's all a bunch of teen girls, so it's not a very clean place. The turnover rate is astounding as well. It's a miracle essentially if you last longer than 4 months without a mental breakdown or going home and never returning. Edit. Not all girls/guys/people who go into porn, amateur or otherwise, come from bad homes. Though 40% of porn actresses report being molested as children. It's not indicative of the industry or the people employed within. The grooming and locking. If you've never heard of locking, it's basically when a group of girls doing porn are living together, typically, and they are pressured to spend their money by producers who claim to be their friends. The goal here is to diminish any sort of saving money thought process, and they make it out like the money will never stop coming. This keeps them broke and making doing more shoots. Edit. Just wanted to say thanks for the upvotes. Hopefully this will be top comment so more awareness gets out. Grooming doesn't stop because they made a few videos. James Dean, the famous porn star who made a killing by looking like an authentic genuine dude, is a rapist according to several costers and his ex-girlfriend Stoya. But the porn industry didn't get a Me Too movement, so he's still in porn and Stoya isn't. And it wasn't even a ducking secret. Edit. Apparently she's still doing porn, just on her own platform at zerospaces.com. The whole tons of Viagra thing is absolutely true, and so is the bit about casting directors playing fast and loose with STDs. I have a friend that once turned down a shoot for a gay porn at a campground because none of the actors were required to be tested beforehand. A few of them ended up contracting HIV from that shoot. 1. Amateur/homemade 18Y/ovids are likely not 18. 2. The industry gives no shits about protecting minors. If it were legal they'd go as low as they could. See Japan. Color Climax. Traci Lords. Traci Lords' case is especially despicable due to all the hate she received. When it came out she was 16 in her vids and 14 in her pinups, as well as the fact that in 1987 they made a porn film about her sexual exploitation. 3. Pornhub specifically makes it especially difficult to get minors taken down from the site, even if you report multiple times. Several famous minors are actually recommended search terms. 4. Not really the industry, but whenever there's a high profile rape in the news the victim's name becomes a popular search terms on all sites. A lot of girls get trafficked into porn, or they are coerced into rougher/fetishized scenes that they are uncomfortable with but feel they have to perform because they are unsafe, and in some cases, they aren't even able to say their safe words. There is a lot of drugs and violence involved. Actresses may be offered drugs like Xanax before a scene, and some have been asked to eat apples so that they can vomit on screen. Injuries may occur, including the woman who left a rough BJ scene and had burst a blood vessel in her eye due to the nature of the shoot. There is plenty more horror stories online. The financial structures of the business are remarkable. The amount of money flowing through the industry is huge beyond comprehension, but in the end it ends up in just a few pockets. Companies behind large tube sites are earning the bulk of the money, taking revenue from advertisements, memberships, and producing studios who pay tube sites so said tube sites feature their films on the homepage. In the meanwhile, those producers suffer heavily from the terabytes of pirated content which is uploaded daily. Tube sites often refuse to take responsibility for illegal content, said pirated content, but also child porn, human trafficking, rape, etc. New stating that they are only a platform and that they cannot be held accountable for what individual users upload. Lately there was quite some uproar about the girls do porn videos. A number of girls appearing in those videos stated that they were drugged and then forced to do things that they would have never agreed on. While this case was in court, some tube sites refused to take those videos offline, while users still uploaded those. Nowadays, it's very similar to a studio-style 9-to-5 job. Nobody is really making a lot of money anymore. I've been in and out of it for about 25 years. It's morphed into this industry where smarter people use pornography to build a brand. The people that were popular 25 years ago wouldn't get far today because they were primarily interested in getting paid up front for shooting scenes. If I'm going to do this, I want $300, those types. So, those people could go out and get paid $600 per film, which was great money back in 2001. Many people busted their asses to make as much content as they could, but there was no residual income after that. So that's why in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were simply so many films. Now, the women are tracking their income on the back end with things like Snapchat and OnlyFans. It's not a cleaner industry by any means. I don't think people realize just how many videos contain people being trafficked. Edit, because this has gained much more attention than I anticipated, I'll elaborate some. But I encourage you to research this more. Today, there is an estimated 30 million people that are being trafficked. This is modern day slavery. Children, women, and even men are bought and sold as property for the purposes of being a sex slave, forced labor, or even organ harvesting. It is so repulsive, and yet so hidden and unknown. The sad thing is, many children get caught up in this after natural disasters or other tragic situations. For example, with the recent explosion in Lebanon, criminals may set up orphanages that are not registered with the state, and just like that a child can be taken. I learned much of this from a podcast episode with Timothy Owens as a guest on the Candace Owens Show. Even if you aren't conservative, this is a good, objective, and informative discussion to listen to. Thank you if you read this entire thing. I just felt I needed to use this opportunity to give a voice to the unheard. Popular porn sites are full of videos of child rape, and revenge porn. A lot of the time porn sites will refuse to take these videos down, even when they are pointed out to them and reported. One example of this is Rose Kalemba, who was raped when she was 14, and videos of her rape were uploaded to Pornhub, but Pornhub refused to take down the videos until Rose threatened them with legal action. The sheer amount of physical violence, sexual assault and rape the actresses and the actors in gay porn are put through. Multiple actresses have come out and said that they have to do exactly as the producer tells them, even if it involves something they didn't consent to, or they don't get paid. In other words, they either get raped or they don't get paid. The average life expectancy of a porn star is 37 years. Dying by suicide is disturbingly common. Edit, apparently the 37 years is most likely false, but there are still a disturbingly large number of suicides among former and even current porn stars. Pornhub makes itself look like a cool, woke company, but many women have had videos of their RPE uploaded onto the website. Even when they contacted Pornhub to let them know the context behind the video, Pornhub would not remove them and continued making money off of it. It's not just Pornhub, but other websites. One woman had to pose as a lawyer to get her video removed. There's also been lots of underage girls on the websites, with nothing being done, even when people running the site are made aware. It's important for porn sites to be responsible, and they need to be better about this. 1. The constant drug usage by old performers to get through the inhuman experience of their bodies getting mercilessly violated for the world to see. Yes. Having sex on camera, unless you're an exhibitionist, feels as inhuman as you always thought it did. 2. The AIM's main job being sewing up torn vaginas and bleeding anuses. 3. How common it is for girls to lose bowel control on sets during anal. 4. How common it is for girls to throw up in the toilet between scenes from the revulsion of the whole experience. 5. How it feels when you're forbidden from wiping off the body fluids of men from your faces till 10 minutes after the filming for taking pictures. 6. How it feels when you're constantly told to hold the positions during sex acts. 7. How your body, leave alone mind, feels after you've done a gangbang scene with 25 men. 8. How it feels explaining things to your bawling 6-year-old who's just been shown some of dad's juiciest photos by a revengeful ex-agent. A lot of the time child pornography slips through the cracks. More often than not those girls that look 14 to 16 are actually within that age range, but nobody questions it because age checks don't happen often. So next time you're spanking your bacon to some petite flat-chested teen barely legal shit, think twice before you nut. That may be a child. Pornhub actively removes any criticism on Reddit using the admins. You'll receive at minimum 3-day suspension, or perhaps more, just for mentioning that they consistently fail to remove child porn or non-consensual rape videos. Just Google Pornhub fail to remove videos. Too many to count. Edit, it's under harassment on the content policy. Rape is common, and so is coercion. Yes, I know coercion is rape. I'm trying to specify economic coercion. I've read stories of ex-porn actresses who talked about showing thinking they were doing one scene, and being told they would be doing a gangbang, and if they refused, they would be fired. Many of these women are poor and struggle to make ends meet, so they are offered drugs and alcohol to get through the scene. Most scenes. I saw a Tosh Zero episode with a porn blooper and some poor girl was crying and throwing up cum, while everyone around her laughed. Women are treated horribly on set. The assault and disregard for their well-being is shocking. Edit, I have been informed I did not watch the whole video. Apparently I was mistaken. Please forgive me, it was like 9 years ago. I couldn't even watch the whole video, so I did not remember correctly. Pornhub constantly has underage people on their website. Many girls and young boys are trafficked and porn is used to advertise them. Many girls who don't do porn suffer the consequences of their porn-sick boyfriends. Some girls experience anal or vaginal tearing, or experience pressure to do dangerous things, or are just pressured to give oral all the time. All of this are learned from various sources. Just look up ex-porn stars, and also from Dr. Gail Dines, who studies the effects of porn on our culture.